So you gotta adopt, you put your arms right here. All right, the game begins now. All right.
Ah, and just like that, you're already screwed. That's how fast it gets you. That's how fast the mirror sneaks up on you. One of the greatest bar bets of all time. Hello, beautiful people. I'm Brian Brushwood. Today is January 28th, 2026. Welcome to Scam School. This is where we break down, we reveal the inside, behind the scenes thinking, behind the unbelievable, I don't know, standard setting phenomenon of the beginning of the 21st century. My name is Scam School, man. It's a thing. Today we're talking about The Mirror, the bar bet. It was the fourth episode to come out in April of 2008. And of course, if you're unfamiliar, you're in the middle of watching something called Office Hours. Office Hours is where I take 1 hour of my day and I give it to you guys. You guys are the most important people on the planet. That's why I allow you to use the sobriquet of Diamond Club Elite. You flash that in public. Look, we're going to meet at a conference at some point. If you do this, I'll know you're a real one because you watch live. You'll get my full attention. So in the meantime here, let's see if whether or not... Here we go. Hello, BioCow. Hello, G. James B. Hello, Hawk Worley. Hello, Taylor Van Man. Hello, Dylan Diaz. You guys are beautiful. Let's go ahead and get started. We'll just watch this one, and then I'll break it down for you. Here we go.
Once upon a time, in a bar far, far away, Harry Houdini found himself drinking right next to Ted Kennedy. The two spent a magical evening together, and 9 months later, Scam School was born. Scam School, the only show dedicated to social engineering at the bar and on the street. I'm Brian Brushwood, and today we're going to learn a straight-up old-school bar con, a way for you to get a free drink. It's sort of an old setup with a new packaging. It used to be called You Do As I Do, but today we're going to call it The Mirror. Here, Jason. What are you drinking?
Vodka Red Bull. What else?
Nice. All right, we're gonna play a game. Now, normally I would play this game for money, but instead we'll play it just for a drink. All right. The game it's called You Do As I Do, or I like to think of it as The Mirror. All right. To win, all you have to do is for 30 seconds copy everything I do like a mirror, with up to a 2-second lag. Like, I'm not gonna do anything like that and expect you to do that at exactly the same time. I'm not gonna do anything double jointed. I'm not gonna hire any third parties. It's all simple stuff. And if you can follow me for 30 seconds straight, I'll buy you a drink. If you make an obvious and big gaffe, you can buy me a drink.
Do
Fair
you
enough?
actually get people to do this?
Oh, you better believe it. I haven't paid for a drink since 1976, when I was 1. You game? All right, here's what we're gonna, well, first of all, let's go ahead and get it set up here. We'll move this junk out of the way. We'll put this, let's actually get it set up like a mirror image here. This will be a little more fun. We'll put this over. You right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed.
You're right-handed. So this will be a bit of a challenge for you because I'm right-handed. And let's say we'll go ahead and put this here like that. We'll put this over here, a perfect mirror image. Here we go. We'll get lined up here. All right.
Question.
Yes.
So if I do something that's not like I just like lick my tongue or something.
I'm
or
not
lick
going to
my
nickel
lip.
and dime
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
It's not
that's
so
my
much,
question.
yeah, the main point is you just have to be able to replicate everything I do, right? And if I were to make noise or stuff, you got a second or two to say the same thing. You know, there's a lag in there.
All right.
All right, so here we go. So we're going to start. So you got to adopt, you put your arms right here. All right. The game begins now. All right. Normally you would have already lost at this point because we're playing mirror image,
But it's
not
the right hand.
not inverted video image. But okay, so we're gonna play mirror
All right,
image.
fair
So
enough.
it'll be your
I
left.
see
All
what
right.
you're saying.
That's all right. You
But
got
I
it.
was doing it
Yeah,
because
you
it was the right
did.
hand.
You interpreted it correctly. Here we go. All right, ready? The game begins
All right.
now.
crop problem.
Hail Minoku. Yeah. Oh, you were such a good sport, Jason. But you got the gap now, right? Now the key is, there's a couple of things when you're doing this. You got to have enough bits of business to make it entertaining. And I tell you, one of the keys to comedy is the moment you lock eyes with someone and you try to not giggle, it becomes the most delicious, entertaining thing in the whole world. And so in this case, we had bits of business, and I like setting everything up so it looks like a mirror. But take a drink once, at least once, and then do something that involves speaking. That way, it's clear that you've swallowed the drink. And especially now, you notice what happened is the second time I took a drink, I started to cross my arms again to do that crazy Hail Minoku thing. So you probably were suspecting, okay, he's about to talk. So that means me having a mouthful of beer is the last thing that was on your mind, which is what makes it such an impact when you spit it back into the cup. Make sense?
Fair enough.
Can you pull it off?
I think so.
All right, dude. Appreciate it, Jason. You were fantastic, man. Now, a gag like this is called a proposition bet, and the only way you win proposition bets is if people like you. In this setup, I found the easy way to make people like you is by looking them right in the eye and engaging them. Both of you know how ridiculous this is, but you're playing a game together. Share that moment, and when you win, they will be more than happy to buy your drink for you. By the way, if you have any stories of winning with this or any other of the scams, make sure to post it at revision3.com/scamschool. And if you have any questions, write me directly at brian@revision3.com. Until next time, what are we doing next time? Oh, we're retreading your old flip-flops using celery and super glue. I need a drink.
All right, so much to unpack on this one. There's so many things that whoa, back you go. There we go. All right, that's enough. All right, so first of all, let's talk about, this is the first one that was not in that pilot shoot. The first three that you guys saw were all in one evening. I think we held one of them back. We'll probably encounter it tomorrow, but you can tell this is a different shoot. And boy, you can see that Brian knows a little bit more about what he's doing. We're still playing the entire intro theme, which is a bit long, but this is the beginning of looking at those first three episodes. It was clear to me, oh, wait, there's something to this whole, it's like blank but blank. And so in this case, I wanted to combine Harry Houdini and, I don't know, someone famous for drinking. So I said Ted Kennedy, because that's all I knew, because I wasn't into politics. I didn't know Ted Kennedy was involved with a woman's death in a drunk driving incident. Allegedly. I have no idea how any of that stuff rolled out. But what I was doing is I was riffing on a line from Tenacious D on the HBO series. They would, every time they would get introduced, they would have a different ridiculous, bombastic introduction. And so I think one of them, Paul F. Tompkins, said, Iron Maiden, Molly Hatchet, and Black Sabbath couldn't be here tonight, but they all had sex, and they're proud to announce the birth of their two-headed baby, Tenacious D. So I thought it was, I thought that was a fun conceit, so I went with that in this one. So it's clear in the intro that I had a little bit something more arranged in all of this. It is interesting to go back and to notice that, like, listen to the audio leveling on the sound effects.
Together, and 9 months later, Scam School was born. Scam School, the only show dedicated to social engineering at the bar and on the street. I'm Brian Brushwood, and today we're going to learn
That's a real loud, crisp sound effect that came on in, but again, different technology, different time. I like the music that they licensed for this.
New packaging. It used to be called You Do As I Do.
And so the whole conceit of the mirror, it was traditionally just called You Do As I Do. That's the way I had always learned it. But the thing I liked about calling it the mirror was that it allowed me to do more bits of business, just more process to everything. It also created a more compelling visual in that beginning part. And what's interesting is you can tell that Jason isn't interested in this whole time at the beginning.
Cool stuff.
He's very
If
on
you can
guard.
Follow me for 30 seconds straight, I'll buy you a drink. If you make an obvious and big gaffe, you can buy me a drink. Fair enough? Oh, you better believe it.
Yeah, see right there, he responds with kind of a pushback of like, you actually get people to do this? And so, and I respond, nowadays I would respond with self-deprecation in that moment. I would say, no, I've never done this. I don't even know how any of this works. But of course, different times, we have obviously an entire camera shoot there. We have a producer, we have lights, and the stakes are all higher across the
Paid
board.
for a drink since 1976. Away, we'll put this section.
And now this is one of the parts I like. By framing it as the mirror, you have an excuse to just have a process to stand shoulder to shoulder with them.
It's set up like a mirror image here. This will be a little more fun. We'll put this over. You're right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed.
You're right-handed. So this will be a bit of a challenge for you because I'm right.
And again, I'm
Perfect
withholding information
mirror
where this is
image.
going.
There we
And
go.
of course,
Get
he
lined
wants
up
to
here. All right. Yes.
So if I do something that's not like I just like lick my like tongue or something.
I'm
or
not
lick
going to
my
nickel
lip.
and dime
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
It's not
that's
so
my
much,
question.
yeah. The main point is you just have to. Here we go. So we're going to start. So you got to adopt. You put your arms right here. All right. The game begins. Video.
I believe that even the people in the background, because we were shooting by television rules, I believe that these are folks in the background who got releases signed on them. I mean, either that or there's just a noted ball rolling enthusiast hanging out in the background of this particular bar. Now, absent the framing of the mirror, it's done as just steps.
Prop problem.
Hail Minoku.
So that silly thing, that Hail Minoku, I don't know if any of you guys even know where that's from. That's a Mr. Show bit with Bob and David. Let's see, Mr. Show Minoku. Minoku House of the Future. Oh no, where is? Oh, did they not have it? Mr. Show House of the Future. Oh no, what will I do? No! Oh man, that'll break my heart. Yes!
Minoku.
Yeah, there we go.
Freedom. Minoku butt plugs are the only butt plugs Wicked Scepter uses. There. This way, and we'll see. Today, I'd like to show you something designed for the blind that Minoku is very excited about. The House of the Future. Well, hello, Doctor. I'd like you to meet the top scientist on this project, Dr. Finn Barston. How's the house, Finn?
It's called the Fabulous House of the Future. This new technology will enable our non-sighted loved ones to enjoy the freedoms of independence without the mess of blind-caused accidents. Let's go inside.
So anyway, they do the Minoku House of the Future, and then at the end,
Here you are.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Finn Barston. Thanks for joining us today. And thank you, Minoku.
Oh no! The next thing he does is he says, "Oh, thank you, Minoku," and he crosses his arms and he goes, "Oh, great leader," and then that is the lead-in to racist in the year 3000, Minoku. Yeah, there we go.
I tell you,
Oh no, they only do a snippet of it. Anyway, he calls him Minot Jew, and he goes, "But I'm only 1/4 Jewish." Anyway, that was a long way to go to explain my affection for crossing my arms and saying, "Hail Minoku." If you thought there was deep lore behind it, either you didn't know the half of it, or you got less than you bargained for.
Oh, you were such a good sport, Jason. But you got the gap now, right? Now, the key is there's a couple of things when you're doing this. You got to have enough bits of business to make it entertaining. And I tell you, one of the keys to comedy is the moment you lock eyes with someone, so it looks like a mirror. But take a drink once, at least once. You notice what happened is the second time I took a drink, I started to cross my arms again to do that crazy Hail Minoku thing. So you probably were suspecting, okay, he's about to talk. So that means me having a mouthful of beer is the last thing that was on your mind, which is what makes it such.
So if you want to do, I think I was holding back in case I needed to follow it up on a later episode, but if you are familiar with this gag and you smell that somebody is about to pull it on you, then the counter move on it is to also hold back a little bit of liquid so that they get you and then you get them, and then they're kind of busted. Hawk wants to know if we still adopt television rules for Modern Rogue episodes. Do we get everyone episodes to sign releases? I did for the first 7 years. Remember, the whole purpose of Modern Rogue was I went to Hollywood. First, I did Scam School as a stepping stone to get on TV. And then I got to TV and I said, what? That's it? I could do this. And so I wanted to. So we started shooting Modern Rogue episodes with the intention of them going out as television episodes. So yeah, I got releases all the way down to the t-shirt. There's not a single person that appears on a single episode of Modern Rogue for the first 7 years that I didn't get everything perfectly clear. And by the way, there's lazy production that is an invitation to trouble, is having people look in the camera and say something vague like, I give permission for this to be on YouTube or whatever. No. These are all releases that say in all forms of media, either existing or to be created throughout the universe. Basically an MTV or broadcast television style release. But as I'm fond of pointing out, we did low budget Mythbusters, I believe, longer than actual high budget Mythbusters ran for before we sort of metamorphosed along with the rest of the planet in this post-AI wobbly world where I am of the opinion that nothing matters more than being a human who shows up. And you'll notice, like, for example, even something like I'm doing right now, doing essentially an hour-long live study of the old episodes. And I don't know whether or not I'll get dinged on that Mr. Show bit, but since that came from inside the YouTube ecosystem, it's very likely not going to be a problem, or somebody will have turned on revenue sharing. In the case of all the Scam School content, whatever entity owns any of that stuff, then that good, claim it, and then they make money is our arrangement. I'm here for you guys to create this behind the scenes tell-all of stuff. Oh my goodness. Hold on one second. Hold your horses. Stop everything. This is awesome. Ziku Art the Immortal. Ziku Art the Immortal says, finally able to watch live. OG fan since day one. Still wearing my first run Rogues Ring. Congratulations. That's the real titanium one. Still waiting to see the comeback of the Tune In Next Time, where we learn how to turn lead into gold using lead, gold paint, and a nearsighted pawn shop owner outros. As a matter of fact, first of all,
Wait a minute, Brian. He paid money.
Yeah, Brian. Wait. Oh, yeah, good. Yeah, Brian, they pay money. They get the voices.
And he didn't just pay a little bit of money. He bought you drinks for the night. That means you owe him a hug and a high five next time you see him live and in person.
Yeah, speaking of which, where can people see you live and in person, Brian?
Yeah, Brian, why?
Yeah, Brian, I'm back in time to ask you why.
I too would like to know why.
I kept saying the word why. The next time I'm going to be out on the road is going to be for the Security Awareness Training Conference at Convene. That is going to be at the beginning of March in Clearwater, Florida. Convene is a 2-day security awareness training professional event. They booked me. Guys, I applied for this thing after the deadline, and they made me the closing keynote. And in fact, Perry Carpenter and I are working together on a workshop beforehand.
Such an impact.
Because both of us have been swimming in the same waters. If you go to scampocalypse.com, that'll take you to this ticketed event, Clearwater, Florida, March 2nd. It's $300 for the day. You get the chief strategist for KnowBe4, the #1 security awareness training company on the planet. And you get me. I don't know if you know this. I know a little bit about the art of deception when it comes to human-on-human trickery. And we're going to bring you the best for 6 hours of an event we're calling The Mark and the Mask, How to Survive the Social Engineering and AI Scam Apocalypse. I'm going to chat with Perry later today. We're going to record a proper introduction to the event, but I hope you guys come out. If not, then we got to start talking a bit about Founders Day. I want to do something so intimate this year. Scratch that. Roll back that tape. Internet, please delete nobodyarchive.org, that phrase. The problem is Matt Donnelly is booked in all of April, so I need to figure out what is a thing that would be truly special that we could play. I might try to keep it as few as like 30 people or so. But it's going to be special. If you're interested in Founders Day, you guys know what to do. Just write me. Get it on my radar. Hit me up, brian@schwood.com. Of course, you got to be signing up at signup.scamstuff.com. The robots are trying to divide us. This is how we stay together. But if you guys would like to make it out for Founders Day, I want to make something really interesting, esoteric, and different this go-round. But those Zikutar the Immortal. That's what it is. Zikutar the Immortal. I was trying to be Zikutar the Immortal. Zikutar the Immortal is exactly right. I'm so glad that you guys picked up on this at the very end. So you can also see I have a much punchier thought this go around.
Now, a gag like this is called a proposition bet, and the only way you win proposition bets is if people like you.
Also, look at the difference in the framing of all that stuff.
In this setup, I found the easy way to make people like you is by looking them right in the eye and engaging them. Both of you know how ridiculous this is, but you're playing a game together. Share that moment, and when you win, they will be more than happy to buy your drink for you. By the way, if you have any stories of winning with this or any other scams, make sure to post it at revision3.com/scamschool. And if you have any questions, write me directly at brian@revision3.com. Until next time, what are we doing next time? Oh, we're retreading your old flip-flops using celery and super glue.
So in this case, I made it obviously a made-up thing, but for a lot of them, I did stuff that was almost plausible. The reason for those next week ons never matching it was because I wanted to if you're communicating super effectively, then you say a lot of things without ever saying them out loud. And so in this case, the thing I pretended to say is next week we're going to do ridiculous thing. Oh, I get it, a joke. But the thing beneath the thing is the one thing that was unambiguous that you weren't thinking about is there going to be an episode next week? That's the real thing that I wanted to anchor. Because I didn't know what order these were going to come out as, I figured it would be an ongoing gag to always reference a thing that didn't happen. And that I stole from the end of, let's see, next week, Arrested Development. This one actually might get me content ID'd. There we go.
I wish you guys didn't have to go so soon.
Oh, on that subject, these guys are actually going to be staying with us for a while. Just your aunt and her husband, not Joe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, this is a
Family
lot.
first, right?
We're doing that before.
But anyway, what they did was they did a follow-up beat to whatever the current story was by referencing something that that never did show up on the next week. And in fact, not 33. Ryan Brushwood on the Road, episode 3. No, I think I also did the next week on thing. Let's see, 3. Might have been this one. No, is it a different one? Maybe 2. Ah, there we go.
Pickles? You put pickles in
Oh! That's my card? Nope. Never mind. Anyway, that's a bit that I've been stealing for a bit. But of course, nobody noticed that I stole the bit, which means I got away with it. It's called remix culture. As long as you're adding your DNA to them memes, it's going to change. All right, let's get to your questions. Judith Optebeek. I did a follow-up on that later, but we get to that. Hello, Death Shaker 0026. G. James B. Algatar. Is Ryer with us? Yeah. Ryer, of course, lives on the other side of the continent, and so we got him down. We shot 6 episodes with Ryer, and as a matter of fact, he recently was able to get us fully stocked on Ballyhoo. I have not yet done a big marketing push for Ballyhoo. Let's see. B-A-L-L-Y. Who? There we go. Oh, there we go. So we're finally fully stocked on Ballyhoo. I don't want to clean them out, so I haven't done a marketing push for it. Partly because I'm about to do a massive upload to the Roustabouts Society. If you guys already have Ballyhoo, if you're not familiar, Ballyhoo is a lockable puzzle box that celebrates 25 years of me doing magic. When I quit my day job in May of '99, and then 25 years later, we started work on Ballyhoo in 2024. And basically, ultimately, on the inside is going to be all of the best of everything I've ever done. And so Ryer put these together, and so I'm making uploads. There's already, I want to say, I don't know, 30 hours of content, including, if nothing else, it's worth it for my 3-hour Penguin lecture that I'm unbelievably proud of. But Ballyhoo is available, and that is shipping from Ryer Appledorn right now. Also, we're going to start a zine. Was there anybody I reached out to, celebrity or otherwise, that did not want to be on? You said 1 for Scam School. How many for Mono Rogue? I don't know if they don't want to be on. I know that a lot of times schedules didn't work out, because if somebody's interesting enough for a reach out, then oftentimes they're interesting enough that a lot of people reach out to them. And so sometimes schedules are working and some aren't working. Hello, WDC2. You are the best kind of human. A kind of human that shows up. Yeah, Ryer was definitely out. The preview outros were legendary. Who got bumped? Let's see. No before. What kind of crap plan is that? Maybe it's not a crap plan so much as a testament to how important and urgent and very good my materials are. Zikutar the Immortal, let's say canonically, is Minoku's little brother. I like that. Catch Me If You Can is a very good movie. The book is even better. The true story, I wonder what that is. That's hilarious. I didn't know that you actually did some cobbling. There was some behind-the-scenes cobbling at Founders. Wow. 40 years ago today, huh? I didn't know that. When the Challenger disaster happened, they had us, I think I was in 3rd grade, they had us write poems. No, maybe 4th grade. If I say no mayonnaise, I don't want any mayonnaise. Yeah, that's exactly right. All right. As long as you're putting your DNA on the memes, there has to be a better way to say that. I don't know. Seems like it was pretty sticky how I did. Do all the ballyhoos have roustabout access? Eventually, no. Eventually, it'll be tiered. But for now, it is just easiest for us to build out the catalog. So you didn't hear it from me, but if you can get your hands on a general admission now, that'll get you in the clubhouse. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. Zikutar the Immortal, speaking of scam stuff, Torbrenner was the hit of my best friend's birthday, perfect for his cigar nights. Yeah, dude, we're hoping to do another round of Torbrenners. They came out fantastic. They are just great. That's a scam ducking. All right, cool. Well, then here, let's see if there was anything else I had on this one.
I need a drink.
Nope. And then that was pretty much it. Oh, that's another thing. It is hard to overstate. In this time when media felt so precious, the benefit of seeing your name in the credits. Well, actually scrolling on by. They used to matter. Now you guys get it for free. Look at me, Mom, on the TV. Oh my gosh, are you serious? That's terrible, Sixter. After the explosion, it wasn't like y'all were just sitting there watching and then something terrible happened. It was like, oh damn, hold on. A 9/11 happened. Let me pull in the TV. Take a look. How bonkers is that? That is crazy. Okay, well, with our remaining time, how much time do we have? Pew, 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 pew. Okay, we got 20 minutes. I can make some progress on that Hawk Worley deepfake. So what would be a good way for me to do that? I can capture. Yeah, I can capture the Hawk Worley. Pew pew. Oh yeah. We'll get there. We'll eventually get to Scam School. It is fun to say. Worley. Oh. Wait a tick. Have you guys noticed that Gmail has gotten wobbly in terms of its ability to there we go. Okay, so here's what I'm doing, just so you guys know. I'm grabbing the YouTube videos that Hawk uploaded, and I'm just gonna turn them into MP4s. Although I don't know even that I need to. Now that I think about it, no, I do need to clone the voice. So I'll paste that, and I will paste that. So we got both I am a costumer and I am a cosplayer. We're going to take both of these. And I'll drag them over here. They'll show up in Mouse Without Borders. Great. And so now we'll start by cloning his voice. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. That's right. When we were using 11 Labs, let's do this. Okay.
Hi, how can I help you today?
I need to make an instant voice clone. Navigate me to that page. Okay, great. Create a voice. Instant voice clone. Audio or video files up to 10 megabytes each. Let's do cosplayer. Actually, here we'll just do. Oh, yeah, 4.2. There's one. And then I am a cosplayer. Where's that one?
I can help you create an instant voice clone. Let me navigate you to the right.
No, wait, what? Oh. Go back. You messed me up, lady. Cosplayer. There we go. I am a costumer. I am a cosplayer. Great. And then now, let's see. Hawk Worley talking cosplay. This is from Hawk Worley for our acting lying lesson. You better believe I confirm I have all those rights. What a fib of the rules we make now. Quen TTS locally. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think that's what we had been doing. 11 Labs is just faster, or it's easier to do on the air while I'm doing other stuff. But here, Pinocchio. Let me see which one we have. Yeah, E2F5 TTS is the one that we were running. The only reason that I'm not using it is because it doesn't want videos. It only wants audio files. But actually, the funny part was we were able to take the synthetic voice that we made on 11 Labs and feed it into Pinocchio, and it did. Oh, Hank of Flamio says,
do you know how cults work, or is that another specialty? We may need one temporarily just to force a message through a blockade.
It depends. It depends on the context.
The problem is that just talking about cults in general is very, very loaded. And it's loaded enough that it gets a lot of people to not even listening. Look at me. I sound like an LLM. Nope. An LLM would have proper verb tense. Let's do this. There we go. So I think much more effective is the lesson of creating a movement. So think of a cult, not so much. What a cult tends to be is a dynamic, electric, hypnotic personality with a framework that attracts people into his orbit, usually his, ultimately for either the purposes of extracting money, sex, power, whatever. But a movement is something different. A movement is something that can take on a life of its own and change the world. Martin Luther King wasn't running a cult. He was starting a movement. And when you're thinking about movements, then it becomes very important to learn leadership lessons from Dancing Guy. This is a good one.
If you've learned a lot about leadership and making a movement, then let's watch a movement happen start to finish in under 3 minutes and dissect some lessons. First, of course, a leader needs the guts to stand alone and look ridiculous. But what he's doing is so simple, it's almost instructional. This is key. You must be easy to follow. Now here comes the first follower with a crucial role. He publicly shows everyone else how to follow. Notice how the leader embraces him as an equal. So it's not about the leader anymore. It's about them, plural. Notice how he's calling to his friends to join in. See, it takes guts to be a first follower. You stand out and you brave ridicule yourself. Being a first follower is an underappreciated form of leadership. The first follower transforms a lone nut into a leader. If the leader is the flint, the first follower is the spark that really makes the fire. Now here's the second follower. This is a turning point. It's proof the first has done well. Now it's not a lone nut and it's not two nuts. 3 is a crowd and a crowd is news. A movement must be public. Make sure outsiders see more than just the leader. Everyone needs to see the followers because new followers emulate followers, not the leader. Now here come 2 more people, then 3 more immediately. Now we've got momentum. This is the tipping point, and now we have a movement. As more people jump in, it's no longer risky. If they were on the fence before, there's no reason not to join in now. They won't stand out, they won't be ridiculed, and they will be part of the in crowd if they hurry. And over the next minute, you'll see the rest who prefer to stay part of the crowd, because eventually they'd be ridiculed for not joining. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how a movement is made. So let's recap what we've learned. If you are a version of the shirtless dancing guy, all alone, remember the importance of nurturing your first few followers as equals, making everything clearly about the movement, not you. Be public, be easy to follow. But the biggest lesson here, did you catch it? Leadership is overglorified. Yes, it started with the shirtless guy, and he'll get all the credit, but you saw what really happened. It was the first follower that transformed a lone nut into a leader. There's no movement without the first follower. See, we're told that we all need to be leaders, but that would be really ineffective. The best way to make a movement, if you really care, is to courageously follow and show others how to follow. When you find a lone nut doing something great, have the guts to be the first person to stand up and join in.
That is the physics of a movement being created. Now, Hanko Flamio says, saw the video, not as simple as that. I'm back to the drawing board because leader and first follower never got the results we were looking for. So that could be 2 things. Remember, there are 2 sides of an action. You need there, let's go ahead. There's what you got, and there's what the world wants. We talked about this a little bit the other day on the episode where I was talking about the I don't even know how I'd search for it now. It's in some secret hidden bucket. Let's see if I can find it. Ooh, hello. My account. Let's go over to tools, media storage. There we go. This will be helpful to kind of look at. So remember that you have to match. Think of it as a lock and a key. The world is the lock. There's some amount of negative space that needs to be filled, but it's on you to figure out whether or not you have what it takes to fill it. And so part of that is the data. Part of it is you got to begin by knowing your world so very, very well that you can tell what part of it is broken. Obviously not the entire world is broken, but some slice of it needs to be fixed. That's why you're showing up. So that you need to gather data, just like in the experiment here with the pendulum swinging these over magnets. It looks like chaos at low resolution. It looks like it's totally random which one of these things go. But even at a low resolution, you begin to see patterns. And it's only through iterations that you begin to see the shape in the marketplace of ideas reveal itself by very predictable rules. And so in the case, if you've started a movement, if you had the ingredients, if you had a leader, if you had a first follower, and it didn't catch, there's two general categories of what might have gone wrong. One is that it could be that the shape of what the product offer was needed some refining. In the case of my magic show, I had to decide that the style guide didn't involve curse words because a curse word was going to take me off the menu of a lot of family weekend shows or whatever. Certain amounts of innuendo were too much and made it incompatible. And then likewise, the event itself, if I have a 3-hour jam band that doesn't really get good until the 2-hour and 15 mark, then that will be incompatible with a 15-minute showcase slot that people need a tightly polished 15 minutes showstopper for. So in that case, there are two things. It could be that the ingredients for the leader, the ingredients for the first follower just didn't take. And people are, of course, we exist in bazillion multitudes. And it could be maybe from the outside you don't notice that one person smells bad. And maybe you'll never be able to see it from the outside, but for some reason, just didn't click. That doesn't mean that the laws of physics or the laws of thermodynamics of idea sharing are suddenly untrue. It does mean that you want to consider making some changes to try again. Whether it's maybe where you're aiming for is a crowded space. Maybe there's already a lot of choices, and then you're coming in with a hat on a hat. For example, think about part of the success of Scam School was quite simply the timing. It had very little competition at the time. And the reason, once Scam School got past 1 million subscribers, because at that time it was the #1 magic show on the planet, there was a lot of that is where you hit that tall poppy syndrome, right? And I have very little appetite for any of that stuff. I don't like playing defense. So as a result, between you, me, and the wall, I was thrilled when Chris Ramsey came along and basically deconstructed PewDiePie's type of YouTube storytelling and did that for Magic and blew up and surpassed Scam School. That put me back in a position I was more comfortable with of not having to play defense and adjudicate Magic arguments and all that stuff. By the way, spoiler alert, turns out Chris Ramsey didn't have an appetite for that either, and now he covers UFOs. Good for him. But my point being is that there are factors completely outside of what you have that alter the story around you. So it may be that the unmet need in the universe it has pivoted over time, and it definitely has. You guys, 20 years ago, I would not have begun this journey by doing what I'm doing today. Showing up for between an hour and 3 hours a day, every single day on this channel would be an insane person's thing. However, nowadays, it is so much more important, so much more valuable to verify this is a real human being. We are together. And as a result, this is, again, why I say you guys are the hardest of the hardcores, the Diamond Club Elite, because you have done the impossible, which is to show up with the most precious of resources, your time, energy, your money, and that is how we make a dent in the universe. I hope I answered your question a bit, Hank. If you have a specific question beyond that, feel free to hit me up. Brian@schwood.com should still get to me. I don't know at what point, but I think Gmail is ceasing to forward my emails to me. I got to look into that. In fact, everybody just send me a test email to brian@schwood.com because I'm not entirely convinced that those go to my Gmail now. That's how bad the robot apocalypse is. And that is called Brian's optimistic note of the day. Word of mouth actions of others are more effective than the noise of advertising. Yes. However, advertising is quite simply the tax you pay on not being creatively excellent. If you are unbelievably, incredibly creatively excellent, then your stories are so infectious that they do pass on and they take a life of their own. Your story is so strong, it naturally attracts attention, which naturally gets people interested in buying, which naturally funds telling bigger, better stories. If your stories are weak, for example, let's say it's a timeshare company and a disreputable one at that, then you have to pay a lot of money to go backwards on the circle. You have to pay money to trick people into paying attention, and then you have to force them to look at a crappy enough story that maybe they pay in on your scheme. But somewhere in the middle, there's advertisings that are pretty good. For example, in the marketplace of insurance, I don't know if you guys know this, but insurance rates are determined entirely by actuarial tables. There's no margin in insurance. It's quite simply the statistically perfect models. So as a result, the ad budgets, all insurance is pretty much the same. That's why Geico, Progressive, State Farm, Farmers, all that stuff, the reason they instead compete in a skit telling contest because they want to argue for position in your mind. So in that once a year situation where you have to make a decision between which of the terrible options you want, all things being equal, you might as well do the one that gave you the gift of making you chuckle that one time. Aha! Why, thank you very much, Zikutar the Immortal. But yeah, definitely word of mouth advertising. It's funny because what we now call viral is far from it. Viral meant that you would infect a single person with your idea, and that idea would be so good they couldn't help but want to pass it on. And it happened entirely organically. What we think of as viral now is a version of pleasing the algorithm, which is, reminder, just a series of magnifying glasses. Here, if you... Let's do this. Here is, let's imagine, a picture of an attractive female, right? Now, before the algorithm, you're like, wow, she's a 9 out of 10. But then the algorithm comes in and it takes her eyes and makes them bigger because humans like eyes. So there's magnifying glasses on her eyes. And in general, a woman's lips wants to be magnified to is more attractive. And then other sex characteristics and. But basically all of these, and then now that we've got this all amplified, let's also put a magnifying glass on her face because faces are more important. And then let's put another magnifying glass on her body. And in fact, we want to make the whole thing very clear. So now let's put a magnifying glass on the whole distorted, bizarre, perverse, spitting image looking Sid and Marty Krofft puppet-like features on this character, and then you get this weird caricature of it. And then that's what we think of as algorithmic viral success. So the important thing is forget all of this, because this is all just the various flavor of amplification. Ultimately, instead, what I do is I remind myself that on the other side of this camera, on the other side of this cloud of tubes, is a person. And so I always play to the person and let the rest sort itself out. This is all right. I'm gonna let that be the one to take us out. That was great. All right, thank you so much, Zikutar the Immortal. If you guys have any questions, don't forget to hit me up, Brian@Schwood.com. Get on that email list, signup.scamstuff.com. Oh wait, I didn't finish Hawk's voice. Let's do this. Try out the new clone. Hawk Worley talking cosplay. We'll at least test this. Here we go. Let's do it again.
Every fish is a whisper in the Grand Sea Choir.
Yeah. Okay. So, how do I? Oh,
Every fish is a whisper in the Grand Sea Choir.
does that sound like Hawk? How do I text to speech? There we go. We'll take. This is from last night.
Every fish is a whisper in the Grand Sea.
Oh, there we go.
I am proud to be corrected by women, taught by women, challenged by women, and led by women. I make space. I pass the mic. I hold the line. And if justice ever needs backup, I show up early, caffeinated, and on the right side of history.
That is pretty good. Now, I could have you say the other stuff that Justin said, but I want to remain your friend. So, all right, guys, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Spread the word, man. These are fun. And we got a lot more to go. Pow, pow.